We're talking about how to figure out your purpose. Whether you know exactly what it is and you just want a little more clarity, or you have no freaking idea, or everything in between, these steps are going to help you, okay? I would suggest grabbing a paper and a pen if you have one nearby so that you can write these down, because you're going to think about them now as you're watching the video, but you're going to need more time to think about them. These are things you really want to work over in your head. So your initial response and answer is super important to these questions, but you also want to give it a little time for more ideas and more inspiration and more clarity to come to you, okay? All right, so here's number one. So to figure out your purpose, the first tip, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what have you struggled with? All right, go back to being a kid. All right, so our first big lesson hits us at 6 years old. It happens for everyone, okay? It becomes evident at 6 what your kind of big challenge is here in life. So you want to look at that. You want to think about age 6. So this is like when you first start to go to school. Even if you can find a picture of yourself when you were 6 and stare at it, or if you can picture like this awesome dress you used to wear when you were 6, whatever you need to do to let that memory come, allow that. Now, some people can recall memories a lot easier than others. So if it's harder for you, that's okay. Spend a little more time. If it's easy, perfect, okay? But look there and then look throughout your life of all the stuff you've noticed yourself struggling with. What are the big challenges? What are the big struggles, okay? And then I want you to connect the dots. What do they all have in common? They have a lot in common, I promise you. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some of mine. I'm going to be really real with you and a little raw with you right now, and put myself out there and tell you some of the things that I've struggled with and show you how they connect with my purpose so that you can gain a little bit more clarity on yours, okay? So when I was really young, I could talk to spirits and angels. So I would try to go to sleep at night and my room would be filled with spirits. I'd see them walking around. As a kid, I could see them with these eyes in my room. And there was one in particular that would sit right next to me on my bed, next to my bed in a rocking chair. She was an old woman with a bun. And I always just felt really calm around her. I thought she was great. And so one time when I was a kid, I think I was 4, I started talking to my mom about that. Like, that was so normal. Like, oh, so do you have a lady in a rocking chair who tells the other people in the room to step back, she's sleeping, and who talks to you and stuff? And I freaked my mother out, like, big time. All right, so I didn't know, and guys, most kids are this way. Some of you can probably relate to this. I didn't know that was weird, okay? I thought everyone saw that. I thought everyone would see someone and hear an angel give them advice about that person or tell them something about that person. I thought that was the norm. I didn't know, okay? So that moment of figuring out that there was something really different with me, that was hard. And then my mom was really, really afraid and freaked out by it. My mom is now my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader, and she's the most fantastic mom in the world. But you have to imagine, especially back then, this was not like a big talked about thing like it is now. It scared her. So she asked me not to talk about it, and she kind of tried to, push it away. And so I thought that there was something wrong with me. And I remember even being in Sunday school and having them talk about how bad that was. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't ever talk about how I can do this, and I have to just try to turn it off. Okay, so that was challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 was when I was 8. My mom got really, really sick, was in the hospital for 6 months, came really close to dying. She was super sick. She survived, she made it, and she came home. I think she weighed like 80 pounds, you guys, when she got home. So me at 8 was taking care of my little brother. I was watching my dad while she was in the hospital really struggle with balancing, trying to take care of the kids and trying to take care of me. And there was people who would say to me, you have to be good. Make sure you're good. Your mom needs you to be good. Oh, your family is just struggling. You need to be good. So if you think of a little kid, what they take on, right? So I really took on like her role. I tried to be perfect. I tried to not need anything from anyone and not cause any kind of a scene And I really tried to just focus on taking care of my brother and helping out my dad and making sure he was okay. And then when she came home from the hospital, I really focused on, okay, how do I help her? Like, I'll help her cook, I'll help her this, I'll help her that. Like, she was like a skeleton, okay? She got better, and then my brother, shortly afterwards, went into the hospital. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and my parents were there with him, and the same sort of thing got reinforced. Like, I need to be good, I can't have any issues, I can't have any problems. And there was a lot of things that happened around that really, I took it home like, I have to be perfect and not myself and not need anything, okay? Then as I got older, I was born with this really ambitiousness, this drive. Like, I work super hard. Sometimes I put blinders on and I just go for what I'm going for, which sounds like a really good trait. But, for those of you watching that are that way too, a lot of other people don't like that. They get threatened by it. And, I take ownership, back when I was a kid, when I look back at the fact that, sometimes there's a way to balance that and to not be so uber focused that you don't realize the effect it's having on other people. But so there was that, and people were really judgmental of me. They thought, oh, she thinks she's perfect, or she has to win everything. She has to be the best at everything. She has to do everything at a top level, and they didn't like that, okay? Then throughout my whole life, and then it really, really started to show when I was a teenager, I insanely insecure, like so insecure, always wondering and worried about what other people were thinking of me and how they were perceiving me. Do they like me? Do they love me? Am I doing okay? How should I be around this person? How should I be around that person? Which then led me into having some major body image issues. I was a dancer. So then I dealt with that. And then after my second son, I dealt with postpartum depression. Okay, so those are the big things. There's a lot of little categories off of that, okay? Can you guys see the connection through those? Can you see my purpose in those when you think about that? So what I do for work is that I help people see who they are. I help people overcome insecurity. I help the people, the empaths of the world, feel okay with themselves and navigate the world and teach them that you don't have to just give to everyone. It's cool to give to yourself. In fact, the whole world needs you to do that, okay? A lot of clarity there. Body image, you're okay as you are. Love yourself. Get to know who you really are and celebrate that instead of worrying about what society thinks or other people need you to be. Be you and watch the magic that happens, right? Can you see that connection? Okay, good. So I want you thinking about that one. Number 2, when you were a kid, what did you need someone to say to you that nobody was? Okay? When you were a kid, what did you need someone to be saying to you that nobody was? Okay? Think about that. Okay? Now, when you hear those stories that I just told you, I can tell you that what I needed someone to be saying to me is, let me help you understand yourself, and let me help you understand that being who you are is exactly what you need to do, not worrying about what you are to everyone else and worrying that it's going to hurt someone else if you're not overachieving or being perfect or being what they need you to be, okay? Do you see that connection? That's exactly what I do in my work, okay? I feel so passionate about helping people be who they are, okay? Number 3, what gives you an energy buzz? What could you do all day long? I don't care if you can't even think about what that could be. Like, how could that be connected to my purpose? I love to read, or whatever that is. Know it and answer it. The first things with this one that pop into your head, guys, write them down. Those are important. What could you do all day? There might be like 5 things on this list. There might be 1. There might be 20. It doesn't matter. That energy buzz, that feeling like, oh, I love doing this. This is feeding me as much as it's giving to the world or serving another purpose at the same time, okay? That's a huge indicator. What mine is being around other people and offering people an ear, someone to listen to, suggestions, building people up, holding out a hand when someone's fallen down, and then building things like classes and things that I can teach to other people, making concepts understandable and fit into other people's lives. Those are the things that I could do all day long. What do I do all day long? That, okay? Number 4, there's a room full of people, okay? We're in it. You guys are all with me. And I was going to help 5 people today, guys, but 500 people showed up. So now I need all of you to help me help these people, okay? So I'm going to ask you to help me. Okay, who can you help? I have 500 people here and I can only give you 5 of them. Help me weed down who you can help the best, okay? Think hard about that. What are some of the things you would say? So if everyone was standing at the back of the room, what could you say to have people step forward and step forward more and step forward more, so that number of people started dropping and became more specific, okay? That does not mean you can't help everyone, all right? Very common problem in empaths. They don't want to define who they're here to help because we're like, we could help anyone, right? Yeah, we can help anyone, but who are you the best at helping? Who can you help beyond what anyone else can do, okay? Who are you the best at serving? What person or what issue can you help the best with as opposed to the other people in the room? Why you for these people, okay? So for me, I would start and be like, anyone who's an empath or energy sensitive, take a step forward. Anyone who feels stuck in their life, take a step forward, okay? And then I can even wheedle it down even more than that. Okay, so you want to be able to answer those questions and let those people step forward so you know. Now, that doesn't mean, remember, it doesn't mean you only help that small group of people, but you have to know who you're an expert in helping, okay? You have to know, what way do I best serve? Maybe you're not put here to be an actual healer. That's okay. What do you do great? How do you support people the best? I was working with someone the other day who their purpose is to help take care of all this behind the scenes work for other people so that that person can shine in their purpose, okay? That's an important role. That's an important job. You don't have to be the healer or the one in the front, okay? Maybe you're so good with numbers. You're like the best at numbers. So you're like, who needs help with the numbers in their life? Who needs help with their bills and their accounting? I could take that stress off of you and I could make you feel better, okay? All right, so those are my 4 tips. Write them down, journal about them, write down your initial thoughts, but also take some time to really work through them and keep thinking about them so that more stuff comes in,